welcome to a special edition of Fridays with Frankie. Really special edition because we have a special guest, PBA star AJ Chapman, here in the booth with us. And we are running our own FDDS 2024 PBA Elite League mock draft. We're looking forward to this. This is, as far as we know, the first mock draft that's going out. And you know what? We're excited for the new PBA Elite League. Basically, some changes for next season, going from 10 teams to 8 teams, expanded rosters from 5 to 6 players. And if any other stuff you want to add, AJ, besides, I mean, that's just kind of the basics that I know about it, but we're really looking forward to this 6th round draft.
Yeah, it's pretty cool with it stinks that 2 guys from last year aren't going to get to bowl because we're going from 50 to 48 total, but I think the idea of having a 6th guy, if somebody's injured or someone's got a significantly better look, I think that can add some depth to the teams, and I think it's really awesome that we're going to get to bowl, 4 or 5 times on TV before we even get to the league.
Yes, yeah, definitely, because you're going to have different, basically stops along the way. And basically, what is it, 6 of the 8 teams are going to qualify to get to the finals in Portland?
Yeah.
Is that how it's going to work?
Yep, 6 will make the league finals.
Nice, really cool.
So you bring in 6 players per team, so you'd be able to sub in player, and how does that work?
I'm not sure how they're gonna do the actual sub in sub out, maybe if it's per game or is it per match, on the shows.
Yeah.
But I know they can definitely set a lineup of the 6 guys. They pick the 5 to bowl. But I'm not sure if they can. It'd be kind of cool if they let us
Maybe a
switch.
banker,
Yeah, in the middle of matches or something.
You're in.
Yeah, I mean, because in college, when they bowl the TV finals, we bowl one game, you can change the lineup for the next game. So
You
it's
can
not
change it on a spare shot, can't you, in college even?
as long as the person hasn't bowled yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's cool. So if they bring a 6th guy in and he wants to I don't know if they could just sub somebody out.
Oh, so you're in for the 7-10.
Exactly. So we have Grindham Gaskill checking in. Hello, boys. FDDS After Dark. Yeah, we might have to start changing the name of the segment to that. So, we're going to get into it. So basically, you'll see our draft board up on the screen. We have a split screen up for you, and you'll see which one of us is going to be drafting. AJ will be drafting for the LAX and the Waco Wonders. I will be drafting for Motown, New Jersey, and Dallas, and KDD will be drafting for Akron, Las Vegas, and Portland. So we're going to go right in order. The first 2 rounds are the saved players, or the players that we kind of think the teams are going to save, and that's kind of how we're going to do it for the first 2 rounds, because we think, okay, these are the players we think that these teams might save. Yeah. None of us have consulted each other or who we think that the teams are going to save, so it's kind of cool that way. It's going to be a surprise to us, too.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's going to be us thinking who the teams should draft, basically. Our own personal opinion and take on that.
Yeah.
And it'll be pretty cool because we'll actually save this and we'll actually put this on our FDDS page. So you guys will see our mock draft will be on our online later on. And then we can compare when the draft actually happens. How close did we get? How far away did we get? And we can actually come back and compare. And maybe even if we have AJ maybe joining us, back in Dallas area, and we can say, hey, how did we think this stacked up against how we did? So it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. Hey, we have Dan Collins checking in. Hey, guys. So,
Dan.
All right, Dan. Hopefully you and Lynn are doing well. And I hope you guys enjoy our mock draft show tonight. So share it up on your pages so we can get as many viewers in here as possible.
Dan, I know you're watching from the pool, too. So
yeah.
I know in the backyard in his pool with the TVs in the back. Yeah, like always.
Tough life. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. All right, so we're going to get
20 degrees.
We're going to get right into it here. So the first round, the first pick is going to be AJ with LAX for a saved player. And who do you got?
Yeah. First thing I would say, too, I'm not allowed to draft myself.
Oh, yes, that's correct. Yes, you can't. He can't draft himself.
Can't do that.
Not allowed, right.
That's not fair. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put one easy, and LA is going to keep Belmo.
Belmo. Okay.
Belmo.
Yeah.
All right.
So, pretty.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to go another way.
Well, I agree. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
He's been a dominating force for more than a
decade.
decade.
Seven player of the years. I think that's probably a safe bet.
That's a safe bet. All right, so Belmo's the first one there. So I'm with Motown, so I'm going to have the next pick, and I'm going to say that they are going to save reigning player of the year, EJ Tackett. So
that's a pretty safe bet too, I would say.
Yeah.
EJ, he's been money lately. So I guess that's up to me then. Moving to the Atom Splitters, which are now the Akron Atom Splitters, former Silver Lake. No surprise here, I guess. I'm going to keep Jesper. two-handed lefty.
Okay.
You know, if they don't keep him, I think they're really, you know, going to be off the mark. Yes, sir. I think he's got a lot of good years left ahead of him. He's still young. You know, he can do a lot of different things. You know, yeah, I know he plays urethane a lot, but I have seen him throw reactive, and I mean, he can shape it different ways with the urethane.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see with the urethane rules changing, with the PBA going to the 78 hardness rule, how will that affect guys like Jesper going forward. So we'll see. I mean, no one knows really at this point. So.
He fucking raps on it so hard. I can't imagine. You know, you're gonna hinder him a little way, but he's gonna find a way around it.
Oh,
you know, I mean,
you
know, you guys, you practice enough where you guys are gonna find something with whatever they give you. I could give you a fucking cheese ball left over from Thanksgiving. You guys are gonna find a way to strike. So,
all right. So I'm up next with the now New Jersey Kingpins and not the New York City Kingpins, and I'm going with Packy. I think they keep hand in hand.
Packy.
I think that's gonna be what they go with. And Ding Dong, you have Las Vegas.
Yes, I do. So Las Vegas High Rollers. I think they are gonna keep AA.
Andrew Anderson, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do. Yeah, I think they're gonna keep AA.
Okay, so Andrew Anderson is going to get saved by Las Vegas, and I have Dallas, and I say that they are going to keep Tommy Jones. I think Tommy Jones is going nowhere.
Yep. He's kind of the heart of that team now.
He is one of the best, probably, team bowlers in the history of the sport, to be honest with you. Clutch player. It was actually super shocking when he didn't come up with that clutch shot at the end last year. I mean, this past season. You know, that was, you know, normally that's pretty much nails for Tommy. So I think he gets another crack at it this year with Dallas. So.
All right.
KDD, here comes the interesting one. Portland Lumberjacks.
So, you know,
who do you think they're going to save?
You know, I gotta say, as long as he's still bowling, you gotta keep Wes, Wes. I mean, he's the heart of the team, right? Big
Wes Malott going to stay with the Lumberjacks. I think that's a pretty safe bet.
You know, I think, you know, once he goes just like manager, I think, you know, might be a different story. But if he's still in the lanes, man, he's the heart of that team, really.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Speaking of manager, that's what we're gonna go with. I think Waco is just gonna keep Parker as player manager.
Bone.
Yeah.
Okay. Parker Bone.
Okay.
He's gonna do it together.
Good call.
So.
Okay. So Parker
PB3
Bone is going to stay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah.
Parker
So
Bone,
that's coming off of our second list here.
Yeah. He's there.
Okay.
I'm going to take him on there.
Trying to keep up with both lists.
Yeah.
Here.
It can be tough. That's for sure. So
they did make a couple more changes too this year. It's not a snake draft.
right.
It's supposed to be a normal draft that starts continuous every round back the same way.
Okay.
And there's a group of guys in this that are eligible in the 6th round, which are inside the top 70, but they were on a team last year.
Oh, yep.
So those are the guys that will be eligible in the 6th round, but not until then.
Snodgrass,
Yep.
Anthony Levy Spar, Ruiz.
Ildemaro Arturo and Mikey Tang.
Yep. Okay.
So
We might know a little bit about that Arturo guy here.
yeah, maybe a little bit.
Yeah,
Maybe a little bit.
He could look.
Yeah. So I think it's down to 48 guys are getting picked out of 58.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So a little tighter window
Yep.
than the last draft. So
All right. So those are our 8 players for the first save round.
First round.
First round there in the
Yeah.
books. And so now we move
So it
into
comes
round
back to
2.
LAX.
LAX with AJ.
Yeah,
Who
okay.
you got here for the LAX saving for their
So this
second
is our
player?
second save, yeah.
I just think team chemistry and they've bowled together all the time. I just think Stu Williams is going to go with
Stu would be the
Stu.
second.
Okay.
Wow,
Stu.
interesting. So you're saying they're gonna put Butters up on the block?
Yep.
Wow, that's a statement. Where the hell is Stu? There he is.
All right. So then I'm up with Motown. So I think on this one here, let me just get to my list. Motown Muscle. It's got to be Simo. I mean, there's no way they're letting Simo go.
Yeah,
So
I mean, Simo's been.
I mean,
really
you have
fucking good.
you know 2 of arguably the top 5 players on the planet on one team, and with Tackett and Simo, and I think there's no way
they're
that
literally
they're going to
1-2
let
on
him
the
go.
list in points. So.
Absolutely right. So there we go. Now we move into KDD with Akron.
So here's where I'm kind of up in the air. So as we talked about, we're going to be talking about the draft as we think that the teams would actually save them, not how we would save them.
Correct. Yep.
If it were up to me, I would save Chris Vi. I think he's awesome in that Bayside.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think they're gonna keep TD.
Okay, Tom Doherty.
because
Okay.
Tom's been pretty great in that.
Yeah,
that
he
as
has been
well.
very good there. Well,
Um,
obviously winning the was it the Strike Derby?
Yeah, and Tom is one of those fan favorites of the building.
Yeah.
And let's face it, of this league, the whole league PBA team thing. So I think they keep TD because of that. I
Yep.
personally would have kept Vi.
Okay, well that's good to know. Now that puts Vi on the block.
Yeah.
Just bring him out,
Which
I
is
think.
that's a tough player to put on the block, just like Butter.
It's
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So this one was a tough one for me with the Kingpins because I feel like honestly the Kingpins could have went and only maybe saved one player on their roster instead of actually saving two. We'll see if they actually do save two. And listen, we've seen teams before do it. I mean,
That's true. Kept one.
Yeah.
They had to.
yeah, right. But I think if they're going to keep the two and we're going to stay with the spirit of that, I think they keep Marshall Kent. I think Kent had a pretty good year, solid year.
I think you're probably right.
Over no offense to Darren Tang, Michael Tang, or Kyle Sherman, but between those four, I think Kent is probably the player that gets saved. I think he had an up and coming season, had a really good kind of first year with Hammer,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
So I think that I think Kent is kind of on the upswing there.
I agree. I like that. Yeah.
All right. So that moves to what, the high rollers.
Mm-hmm. That's
All
you. Yeah.
So again, this one is where I was up. I was kind of on the block a little bit.
Mhm.
I really love both of these players. I probably might have kept Frankie, but I think I'm gonna keep AJ Bam Bam, the homeboy.
Okay.
The Purple Street Brawler. I think they're gonna keep him.
Yeah.
But in my head, you got Matt Russo.
Yeah, some good. Really, I mean, again,
Frankie-
that's a great lineup of players.
Frankie's
LeBlanc,
not
another
quite
player.
as good at Bayside though as he is in some other centers.
For and AJ's
So-
really good at Bayside.
and
stuff.
AJ
Yeah,
good
and
at
his
Bayside.
personality fits the building really well. too.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to say Frankie doesn't.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
I just think that AJ's lines up a
Yeah,
little bit better.
I kind of
That's
agree with
why
that.
I
He's-
make
he's-
that choice.
He's probably got the hotter hand as well.
Right.
Too, right.
Yep.
Yeah.
He just
Yeah.
won
Yeah, I
he's coming
agree.
off his first title
Mhm.
Yep.
a couple months ago. Probably the right pick there, I think.
Yeah. I have the Dallas Strikers, and for me, this one's almost a no-brainer. Unfortunately, he got injured, didn't go in the league this year. But Bill O'Neill, I
Yeah.
think, is pretty
yeah,
much. I think
Billy
him and
O.
TJ are.
That's
The-
a match. That's a match.
I think you have to
Yeah.
go Bill O'Neill there. in that
There's so much
spot.
history going back to Team USA together for
Absolutely.
those years. Like
Yep.
it makes way too much sense not to. keep
I
those
100%
together.
agree. So now we get to the Portland Lumberjacks, and Ding Dong. I think this one seems like a no-brainer to me.
Yeah.
But for who I think they would save, but we'll see.
Right. Well, this one might be an unpopular opinion for a lot of people because I personally would save Graham Fox. He was absolutely money, and he embraced it. But of course, they're gonna save Troop, right? I mean, Troop and
Kyle was
West.
very good this year too, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I think he only missed maybe a couple shots, and he was pretty good this year.
Yeah,
He was
I think it's a no-brainer
Yeah.
that they keep both of those
true.
players.
Yep.
Yeah.
That being
And
said,
Prather
Graham
over the
was so good.
Yeah.
And Prather going to the block.
Yeah. And
Well,
right.
and I
mean-
love Shark. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I love Prather, and he
Yeah.
has won a $100,000 tournament in that place.
Yeah.
But this
Ooh.
year he wasn't so good in that place either. So I've seen
the
him
last
be
couple
really
of years,
hit or
he's
miss.
been struggling there.
You
He's
know,
done a little bit.
And I
it's
love
by his
watching
own
him
admission,
roll.
by the way.
Trust
It's not.
me.
This isn't
Not
anything.
that at all.
So he's by his own admission, he struggled in that building.
Yeah.
So. So now we go to Waco. AJ, what do we got?
This one was kind of tough too, but with the immediate hot hand, how do you not go with the reigning MVP of the league and keep Simonelli here?
Ryan Simonelli.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, I just don't see it. I mean, Sterner
Mhm.
seemed like he was okay, but he had his moments that weren't
Yeah.
quite as sharp.
Yeah.
And then Frank was his first year, so
Yeah.
they're gonna keep one
Yeah.
of the guys. And then I think who's the last guy on that team? BJ Moore.
BJ Moore. Yeah.
Throws an amazing too, but
For sure.
Sam was just the difference maker this year. How can you not bring him
You
back?
can't. Yeah. I mean, he was unbelievable, and he's bowled well in that building before. He's
Yeah.
won titles before when we
Yeah.
had the shootout there. He won that. So
Yeah, I think that's
okay. So there are saved players for the first two rounds. We had a couple comments coming in. Adam Lemery says Brad Miller deserves to be on a PBA Elite team in 2024 and save the MVP. Ryan was solid. Does. exactly what we wanted.
Sim was solid. And the thing of it is he really gets into team bowling a lot too.
Oh yeah, he
And
drives for it for sure.
Yep.
Pumps up his team, you know, and I know Arturo's on the far list, but you know, I really see Arturo as a player that does that as well.
Oh yeah,
and
he's a team chemistry guy.
Yeah,
big time.
And it's cool to see him bowl in our local leagues because he's like that in our local leagues too. He really pumps up his team.
Pumped up about it.
Yeah. So it is cool to see that type of player in a team environment for sure.
All right, so now we move into the real fun. This is where it gets good. We have
Actual
four more
draft.
actual draft.
Is
Who
where
we
the
think
crazy
rubber
stuff
meets
goes.
the
players
road,
who we think they
right?
should take for players to be on these teams. Just to recap our saved rounds: LAX, we have Belmo and Stu. Motown, we have EJ and Simo. Akron has Svensson and Doherty. New Jersey, Packy and Marshall. Las Vegas, Andrew Anderson, AJ Johnson. Dallas, Tommy Jones, Bill O'Neill. Portland, Malott and Troop. And Waco has Bone and Simonelli. So there is that there. We'll just crank that a little better for you. See that? We had to bring the brightness up a little bit here. So, all right. So here we go. LAX. AJ, you get the first pick here in the draft.
I think unfortunately with the losses of the two teams, the Pounders and the Chicago Breeze last year, and especially with all the chemistry and especially in international events, and they're from the same place. I mean, I just don't see how they pick anybody else but Dom.
Dom Barrett.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dom
Barrett.
Barrett.
Right. Dom Barrett coming off the board. So
it might be I think Prather would have been a good fit there too, but I just don't. Stu and Dom have bowled together forever, and Jake's and Belmo and Stu bowl together, and they all know each other super well. I just think that makes too much sense for them to take that. So with that team, unfortunately, now they have three franchise players.
we did have a question come in. Dan Collins asked AJ, how did they decide what two teams to get rid of? Do you have any insight on that? Okay, yeah.
They just did it. Yeah.
Okay, so we didn't really have any insight into that. So maybe they might say, they might not say. So
yeah.
So again,
I'm sure. Yeah.
So Dom Barrett off the board. Now I get to pick with the Motown Muscle, and this is one where I will say I think that this is a to me an up and coming player, and I think someone that matches. You go the first two players on that team, obviously high rev rates, one hander, one two hander. I'm gonna go with Kevin McCune here for the Motown Muscle. Top 10 in points guy, kind of a breakout year last year. So
oh yeah, for sure.
So I definitely think that he could really match the vibe on that team, and it will be interesting to see.
I definitely think McCune fits the name of muscle.
That's for sure.
I can throw like 28 miles an hour.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's out of it. Over 20 miles an hour clean off his hand just about every time. So
it's nuts.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
So now we got KDD onto the Akron train. What do you got?
So with Akron, and I think that this might actually happen, is if Chris comes available once again, how do you not put him back on? I mean, he meshed with the team.
Yep.
He bowled really well in that center. His mom is a huge supporter of you guys.
Great girls.
And she
does.
She and everyone fits right into
Chris, great pick. He was
team environment. I think
absolutely.
So
that's wonderful there. So I agree with you, Ding Dong.
I would be hard to see them not keeping with Chris if they can.
Absolutely. Next one, New Jersey for me, with the Packy and Marshall. You already have a lefty on that team, and it's always good to they would say you should have a lefty. You never know which side's gonna play good, what side's not gonna be good. And I would say because he's coming off a really good season, I would have to go with Matt Ogle here for New Jersey. I think Matt Ogle would be a good fit with that team. Two-handed righty. Had a good year last year, and I think that he definitely deserves to be in that spot.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Ding Dong, Las Vegas.
Okay. So Las Vegas High Rollers, so far I have AA and AJ Johnson.
Yes, sir.
Keeping with that younger crowd, I think, and again having a lefty, being important. Butters is still on the board. How do you not put him in there? He's gonna at least get you through all the stuff on the old side at Bayside. We know how good he is on that side of the building.
Right.
So through all that qualifying, and all that, especially now that you have an extra player to substitute.
Yeah.
If his looks like trash when you go to the new side,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
You had him looking like, money on the old side to get
Oh,
you
yeah.
there.
No doubt.
So,
no doubt.
And I mean, the dude's from Vegas, has a Las Vegas themed tattoo.
He does.
Right.
Put him on the team. Put him on the team.
Gotta put him
Yeah.
there.
Come on, put him on the
Good
team.
fit.
I think it is a good fit.
Yeah.
All right, so now we go to the Dallas Strikers. I think in this spot, it's kind of a tough one for me. I mean, they got 2 righties already. Do I look lefty? Do I look whatever? I think you just kind of go points wise here. You're looking down through the list, and it's like, who do I think should fit? I think that Sam Cooley should be with Dallas. I think Cooley's, solid player.
Going with
both-
chalk.
Yep.
Best available.
Yep. Going chalk there. Yep.
I
Chalk
like Sam
Avalon
Cooley.
here.
Yeah, one of the coolest things I think about Sam Cooley is the way he shoots his 10 pins. It's very unique, and it's just fun for me to watch.
Yeah.
It's,
This will be a fun one. Hometown team, Ding Dong. This is all you. So, what are you thinking
Oh,
here?
this one's easy.
yeah,
The obvious one.
yeah.
The fact he fell this far is pretty crazy to me.
I'm going Graham.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm putting Graham
You're putting
on the
Graham
team.
in there.
That wasn't even the
100%.
one I was talking
Right.
about. That wasn't even the one I was talking about.
So Graham is going to come off the board, but
Yeah,
I mean, obviously he had a great year with Portland. So
I think he fit the team very nicely, and I think he thrived in the environment we have there at Bayside. And that's a big part of it too, because I have
very
a feeling,
level-headed guy too. Like he
Oh,
doesn't
for
get
sure.
too up, too
Yeah,
down.
super easy going. Yeah.
I have a feeling that when they make these tour stops in these cities, people might be getting crazy. Who knows? It's team environment. It's a little bit different. Hopefully, maybe it will be even more a little bit like collegey at least, if it's not like Bayside-ish.
Yeah.
But I think Graham, I think he
Check the
strived
bill
off
good
of
there.
that.
So now we have Waco up with AJ. What are you thinking?
So who do we got on that team already?
You have Parker and Simonelli. So you're lefty heavy right now.
Yeah, so it's got to be a righty.
Yeah.
And I mean, chalk says one different, but I just don't like. Chris
I
Prather-
know where you were going
Chris
with
Prather is the best forward left on this.
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
He-
I mean, I know he struggled there the last couple of years, but I mean,
Yeah,
really, you can't pass up on a
come
player of that
He's won,
caliber.
he's won the playoffs there.
Yep.
$100,000. He's bowled
Absolutely.
awesome in the past. Like he's been on
Yep.
the Lumberjacks.
Yep.
All 3 times
Yep.
they've won.
Yeah.
For sure.
And now you go back to back because you get LAX here in round 4. And,
Well, yeah.
what are we thinking? So LAX, you got Belmo, Stu, and Dom.
That was
righty
the
heavy
end of
right now.
round three,
Yeah,
That was
that was
round
round 3.
three.
All right.
Round 3. We're halfway through here already, so it doesn't take us too long.
Ooh, this
All right.
one.
So
This one's tough because I wouldn't be surprised if they want a lefty since they
Yep.
they don't have Jacob anymore.
Yep.
But at the same time, I really see Santu meshing with that team. Like,
Yep.
I think that.
Yep.
I think it's an absolute ton of rev rate.
Yep.
But oof.
Uh-oh, he's
Yeah,
he's
I don't know.
thinking
I
about it
think-
again now. He's thinking about it.
see now after this third round, it's definitely going to start shaking things up. We've
Oh,
gone
yeah.
chalk.
Right.
A couple
Yeah.
players off of that.
Right.
But at this point, it's kind of like, who's got the better feel with the rest
Right.
of the team?
For
You
sure.
know, all the rest of the guys.
And a lot of times it's fit. If you have
are
a team
great
with no lefties, you
bowlers.
probably want one. If you have a
Yeah.
team that's, rev dominant, maybe you need someone who's not. Just to,
Right.
to
Don't
play a
have a
different part of the
two-hander.
lane,
Maybe you need to
Yeah.
throw two-hander.
Yeah.
in
So,
there,
that's where we
that
kind of mix
thing.
and match. So
I think they're gonna get their lefty, but I don't think it's this round. The more I think about it, I think Santu goes.
Santu goes,
Santu,
yeah.
I think
Okay.
Santu goes right here.
So that's on LA.
Yep.
yes.
All right.
I need to look at the sheet to see how to spell his name.
All right.
Okay, Santu off the board. So we'll cross him off here.
So we're down to
So we're looking at
18.
Motown.
Top 17 have been
Motown doesn't have a lefty. To me, this one's fairly straightforward. Gonna go chalk Avalon again. We got to go with Kevin Williams.
Kevin Williams.
Kevin Williams. Again, we have a high rev lefty there, kind of fitting the theme of what I've put on the board for Motown so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If rev rate wins championships, Motown's gonna be tough to beat right now.
Yeah.
All right, so that gets Kevin off the board, and now we move on to Akron, who has lefty, no thumb righty, two-hand righty. So you got a little bit of everything on that team right now.
Yeah, a little bit of everything going on that team. Mixed bag for sure. who do we think is gonna mesh well here? I don't know. I'm not gonna go chalk on this one. I don't think.
Okay. What are we thinking?
I think now the list gets pretty tight.
It does. Yeah, you have a lot. You know, you have that range from basically 20 to 40, and it really tightens up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really
all these
tightens
guys
up.
are going to go. It's just when and where.
When and where,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and now it's where you try to make your, okay, what's your chemistry looking like? What guys maybe do you know have bowled with the guys before and stuff like that? You know, you kind of try to fit them in. So.
Yep.
All right, Ding Dong, what you got?
All right. So I think for this team, I think I'm actually to line up with the other players. I think I'm going to end up going Matt Russo.
Okay, Matt Russo.
He's a little bit quieter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Jesper and Vi can be TD. TD's going to want to be, like, the center of attention for that team, I think.
Two-handed lefties on the same team.
Yeah.
If the left is playing, that team could whack.
Yes.
You know, if the left is good, they're going to be real good.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, that's that mix and match thing, you know. How do you build teams? So,
Yeah.
so, all right. So he is off the board. So that leaves us. So I'm gonna go on this one. So we have New Jersey. We got Packy Kent, Matt Ogle on this team. You know, I'm not gonna go chalk on this one either. I actually think that I'm gonna go with Sean Lavery-Spar here.
Sean?
Only a couple spots down from Tom and Jake, but I think that Sean will be a good fit with this team. Definitely earned his place, so I think that'll be it'd be good.
Yep. I like that pick.
All right. So moving down the list,
So
we
Las
have
Vegas.
the High Rollers. It's a pretty young team there for sure. I think we need to add a little bit of experience to the team. And you know who I'm going to add? Fun guy, really great in this center. Always going to be back. He's going to be the head of the team, Dick Allen.
Dick Allen, okay.
Yeah.
Dick Allen.
He's one I might have slipped. Yeah. That's too far
That's
down.
a good pick. That's a good pick. Having him, he's someone who is a phenomenal team player, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
There.
With those
Especially a big
guys.
side, strikes a lot there.
Yeah.
I definitely like that pick a lot.
Yeah.
So, so this pick here for me, with Jones and O'Neill, Sam Cooley. My pick here, I think, is going to be a player that really meshes well, throws the ball great, obviously, and had another solid season and is primed for great things in 2024. Give me AJ Chapman to join the Dallas Strikers.
Off the board.
He is off the board, and I think that is a great fit. You got a nice mix of veteran players, overseas players, young player. With Jones, O'Neill, Cooley, and Chapman, I like that. I like that top four lineup quite a bit.
I wouldn't be mad about it. I wouldn't be mad about it.
And I know that team right now is righty heavy. I think we'll get our lefty on Dallas later on, but I like this. I like this fit right here.
All right, so moving to the Lumberjacks.
Yes, sir.
I am gonna go chalk here, but not just because of he's the next guy on the list. I really think that this is the guy Charlie would put on the team, Thomas Keuchel.
Okay.
All right.
Interesting. That was an interesting one.
I think it's a player that Charlie would be interested in adding to the team, honestly. It's the Lumberjacks have always been kind of an eclectic group that come together, in the house that is known as Bayside.
Yeah.
Hungus's house. And it just works.
Yeah.
He's able to bring these people together to the point where Arturo moved up here.
Right. For sure.
So
Yeah.
Waco, we have AJ now on the board. You have two lefties. You got a really kind of a power righty in Prather. And what are we thinking here for Waco this round?
I think this guy slipped way too far just because I think he might have got, he's had some injuries this season.
Mm-hmm.
So didn't get quite as many events in, so he's lower in points than he normally would have been. But he was also part of one of the teams that didn't get brought back.
Yep.
So I think you got to bring one of the franchise guys back from the Pounders and put Rash on this.
John Rash, that's a great pick.
Yeah.
Adds a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Someone who can definitely help mentor some other players. So I think that's an experience-heavy team, right? I mean, you got Bones, Simonelli, Rash, Prather. I mean, a lot of experience there.
Yeah,
And guys that can strike in that building. So
yeah, and you got Prather and Rash that live 20 minutes apart from each other and practice together all the time.
Yeah,
I like that one.
that's a good fit. I like that a lot. So now we're done. There's only 16 players left we can even draft here. It's crazy. We're down to round 5 already. So
2 rounds to go.
yeah, and there's still obviously a bunch of big names on the board. So it's
Yeah.
going to be interesting. We still have a top 20 player on the board, a top 25 player on the board. So what are we thinking here for LAX?
So they don't
No lefty yet on that team.
have their lefty. The best. What do we got available? Justin Knowles is
That'd be the
probably
highest lefty
that's
on the
the
board.
highest. That's chalk lefty right now. Then it drops to Matt Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nope, doesn't matter. Francois.
Francois on the board. He's gone.
Yep.
Francois Lavoie, another smooth player right there.
Yeah, that'll give
Francois-
Multiple-time
Yeah.
U.S. Open
Yeah,
winner.
All right.
that'll help out drop the rev rate a little bit, not overcrowd it.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's tons of team chemistry between Stu, Frankie,
Oh, yeah.
that makes a lot of sense.
Domo too.
Yeah.
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 Frankie and Stu room together pretty much all the time, so
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
another one that probably slipped down a little further.
Frankie is
Oh,
Okay,
with
so many
the
good guys,
right?
it's hard to- yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
yeah, we both 3 years together. So awesome team players. That's
Yeah.
another reason that he's definitely going to be up there where he's supposed to be.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a wonderful
That's a
pick. I
great
really
pick,
like
yeah.
that a lot. So, so I'm gonna go on this one a little bit, not outside the box, not chalk on this one, but I just think be a great fit for this team. A guy who has the ability to strike a lot in this building and is a fan favorite. And since he didn't get snatched up in the last round by Portland, I'm taking Mitch Hoope here. I
Hoope
think
for the muscle.
yes.
Yep, bring them back.
Yep.
All
I
right.
think he's going back to the muscle. So I'm liking how that team is rounding out at this point. So
Yeah, that's a good pick.
solid player, and I think he'll just fit in great.
Yeah.
All right, so for Akron, we have King Ding Dong. What are you going with, brother?
So, Akron, the former Silver Lake.
Chalk's Jake Peters, and then
Yeah.
Sterner and Maldy.
Man, it's getting tough down in this
Yeah.
area, isn't it?
Just a-
So this team, we have Jesper, TD, Vi, Russo.
Mm-hmm. Two lefties on that team.
it's got to be a righty.
Yeah, got to be a righty. We got plenty of good righties up there. I already got a couple two-handers. I think we put Sterner in the mix. That way, if we need someone that can go straighter and fire it at the hole.
And he's good
from
this
right
year,
side,
for
you know.
Waco. So.
Yeah, with them winning. Yeah. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, Sterner or Jake Peters. I think
either
would
one
be
would
a
be.
good fit
So
there.
we're going Jason Sterner here.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm gonna go Sterner. I think Sterner and TD. I think they match pretty well.
Yep.
So that's.
I like that. That's a good pick.
Good pick. Yeah, absolutely. So I have New Jersey here. We have our lefty with Packy. We got a kind of a mix of styles where we have a couple one-handers. We have 1 two-handed righty so far on this team. So this is kind of a pick where it's like, okay, where do you go here? You have a couple lefties on the board. Do you want to go 2 lefties? Do you want to? I think the experience and a guy who can, like you talked about playing straighter when he needs to. Jake Peters is a guy who's so versatile.
Yep.
That
Very
I think
true.
Jake Peters will be a great fit on this team. If they get tough, he's a guy you're going to want.
Yep. But he can also strike on the
But he
righty,
can
too.
strike, absolutely. So Jake Peters, give me him on New Jersey.
I like it.
Okay, so that brings us to the high rollers.
Yes, sir.
Las Vegas. Okay. I mean, it almost writes itself, doesn't it? Maldy
Sean Maldonado
fitting in there.
with Las Vegas. All right.
I mean, we don't have a two-hander yet.
Yeah.
Chalk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we go chalk on that one. Absolutely.
All right. Sean Maldonado off the board, which means now the top 28 are gone.
Okay.
And this sets up perfectly because we don't have a lefty on Dallas. I think this might be the time for us to take our lefty. And I think we're going with Justin Knowles. I think Justin Knowles had a good year. You know, kind of that two-handed power lefty. So
Yeah, so nice and smooth. He's going to be pretty predictable.
yeah. So I think that we're going to go Knowles there.
Yeah, I think that's a good play.
So now we are chalked up to 30 at this point. So
now we're to the Jacks, huh?
we are to the Portland Lumberjacks. 2 picks left for the hometown team. Ding Dong, where are you going with this one?
We got Kyle Sherman, Tom Smallwood, and DJ Archer immediately
on your first,
chalk.
on your that's your next 3 chalk picks, and then you get to page 2.
Yep.
You know, I really like Sherman going there, honestly. You know, it's hard for me to pass him up. I think he would make a good player for Portland, especially losing Prather. Sherman, who
kind of fits that modern power style. Fills that gap. That would take.
And I think since his last surgery or injury or whatever it is, he's learning to dial it back a little bit and get around it a little, you know, with the soft roll like Prather can do. Not nearly probably as, you know, no one can do it the way Prather does it, but you know, in his own way.
Yeah, so that's a good pick, you know. Yeah, he fits in there, and a good media presence and everything, which is always
absolutely
fits right in with the Portland theme we got going. So
and even the team bowling environment,
right.
You know, Kyle and Brad, they have their social media team, and you know, they do a great job. So.
All right, so now we get Waco with AJ.
Yep, another super easy one. BJ Moore.
BJ Moore. Speaking of guys that throw a good,
speaking of modern power players that have that soft hand.
And again, on the defense, it goes back to Waco.
You can bring him back. Yeah, I think it's
no brainer for that team. Yeah. They basically have now.
Yeah, now
you have 60% of the team back at this point, and then you add a Sean Rash and a Chris Prather, and all of a sudden they're in prime shape to try to repeat.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty nasty team.
Nasty.
All right. So we have LAX. This will be your last pick. This will round out the roster, AJ, for the LAX.
Started off with Belmo. Who are you gonna round it off?
Well, it also opens up the last round too. The extra 5 guys that are now eligible for this round.
Right. So the ones that are at the very bottom here, inside the top 70 on a team in 2023. Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So 5 names.
Frank, now you can add
Eldemaro, Arturo, and Mikey Tan.
Correct. And there's some. I mean, there's some good guns in that group too. You know, you have Snodgrass, who was on the defending champion. Obviously, Arturo was nails for Portland this last year. And ALS is a great player.
He's been solid in the team.
Solid, absolutely great team player. So I mean, there's a lot there going on.
Yeah.
So who do we take here, AJ, to round out the LAX?
So what do we got? We got Belmo, Stu, Dom, Santu, and Frankie. So
you have no lefty.
No lefty.
You have no lefty so far. Not that you need one. I'm not saying that's a requirement.
Sanders is the top.
Sanders is the top one. If you have another lefty, you're looking at Michael Martell would be in that list. And I think that's the only lefties left. Correct?
I think at this point they'd probably just stick with what they have.
Yeah.
Because obviously they, maybe that was the thing. They've always had Jacob and they never won.
Right.
So maybe they think that it might need to be a team.
Go a different one. Go a different way. Yeah.
And I think they go team chemistry and they go with Chris Barnes.
Barnes. So Barnes making the list. So
back
a lot of
on the same team.
Back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Chris Barnes coming in round 6. That's a good call there. I like that.
I think that one's pretty
great call. I like that a lot.
All right. So I am up next with the Motown Muscle, and we've gone rev heavy on this team quite a bit. Which is not a bad thing. I think this is a hard one because there's so many good players still on this list, and obviously there's going to be guys left out that are deserving to bowl. But I think based off of last season's performance, I think I'm actually going to go with Frank Snodgrass here for Motown to round up.
Snodgrass, all right.
He really fits Bayside a lot. Was a real crowd favorite there, and I think Snodgrass is going to would round out the Motown Muscle nicely.
All right. So now on to the splitters. Last
6 picks left.
Call. Jesper, Tom Doherty, Chris Vai, Matt Russo, Jason Sterner. And, I got to add this player, super fun player. Again, one of the funnest guys that comes and just has a good time. I am adding DJ Archer to that team.
DJ Archer, great pick
there.
there.
Total sense.
Yep.
Adds that fun. Him and TD, I think, play off of each other with that fun and just make it a super fun team.
I agree with that bowl with them before, too.
Oh, yeah.
I've been with Spurs a couple times.
Yeah. All right, so we go to New Jersey. So we have, this is an interesting team. We got Packy, we got Ken Ogle, we have Sean Lavery, we have Jake Peters. I think on this team here, it's it's kind of an interesting mix on this team. Like you got,
eclectic,
it is an eclectic team.
Yeah.
It's almost got a Lumberjacks feel to it,
Yeah,
like early
the motley
Lumberjacks.
crew of bowling.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that about it. And I think we'll take. I think we're gonna actually go with this one. We're gonna take Smallwood. The Tom Smallwood with that team. I think
Wow.
Smalls and Peters together are.
Small Peter.
Yeah.
Right.
His name's Smallwood.
So so give me Tom Smallwood in that spot.
Wow.
So, I like that. So,
Smallwood, but no Small Peters.
yeah. All right. So we go to Las Vegas, King Ding Dong.
Las Vegas High Rollers. All
Yes,
right.
sir. So I can this list.
Cool. So yeah. All right. So geez, we just added Maldy to the list on that team.
We did.
Who do we have?
You got a lefty on there. You got Jacob on that team. You have Dick Allen, Maldonado, AJ Johnson, and Andrew Anderson.
Yeah, you know who I'm thinking to add to that team is High Rollers. I'm adding ALS to that team.
Oh,
Anthony
you stole my
Lavery's
next
bar.
pick.
Oh,
You
yeah.
stole my last pick. One before I was going to take him.
Yeah, you're supposed to wait.
Sorry.
I was trying to team up a couple of pounders together, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
We can't let the pounders, get to repounder.
There's a lot of good bowlers.
There's a lot of good
Three-
bowlers
three
left on
picks.
this team.
Matt Sanders, Richie T,
You know,
Darren Tang,
yeah.
Nick Pate, all that's chalk. That's next. And
So here's the way I'm looking at it here. I like in this spot here. I think it's someone that deserves to be on a team, someone who has a really good game, and I think he will fit perfectly in team chemistry wise with this team. I'm gonna take Nick Pate on Dallas.
Nick Pate,
I think
okay.
he was probably him and Justin Knowles probably the two biggest snubs of the last
And
draft.
he is not going to get snubbed this year.
That's
He is getting
neither of them now.
no, and I think that I really like how Dallas rounded out with Tommy Jones, Bill O'Neill, Sam Cooley, AJ Chapman, Justin Knowles, and Nick Pate. I like that team a lot.
I like that.
So Portland Lumberjacks, ding dong.
I can't even believe that I'm actually looking.
What?
Yeah, like
You
I
know,
cross them off already.
You want to? What are you doing here?
Yeah,
just-
I mean, it would almost be a crime not to bring him back, because like I was talking about before, he just bumps up the team.
Yeah.
He made his new home Bayside Bowl.
Mhm.
You damn well know he's going to practice there as
Yep.
much as he can
So
to make
Mhm.
it happen. So Arturo,
yep.
he's our boy.
Arturo Quintero is the last. So the very last pick of the draft. Mr. Irrelevant in the NFL.
Yeah.
Who is Mr. Irrelevant for the PBA Elite League this year?
So we're at Waco. We got Parker Bone, Ryan Simonelli, Chris Prather, Sean Rash, and BJ Moore.
Yep. And
So we got two lefties, so definitely gonna go righty. So
Mhm.
unfortunately, Matt Sanders and Martell are probably
Mhm.
Gimbalbi are out. Chalk says Richie Teese.
You got the Tang boys. You got all sorts of shit.
Oh, Darren's still available.
you got Eldamaro still there, another energy guy.
Yeah. I
That's
think.
tough though. It's a tough pick.
Tom Hass with all that experience.
Oh, I know he didn't have a fantastic year, but I think part of that was also due to injury. I think he is good friends with BJ and Prather. And he's been in the league for 4 or 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to give Darren.
Darren Tang.
Darren.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Vitamin
he is
B10.
Yeah,
he is Mr. Irrelevant on our list.
One in there.
So there we go.
Sorry to all the players that did not get picked in our mock draft.
Yeah, I mean it's it's just
Unfortunately, there's 10
You
guys
can't-
left.
you can't-
Right?
yeah.
That's what it is. So obviously,
They're
go
gonna be
different
left,
directions.
yeah.
That's why we did 3 of us, not just one of us.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow, there you have it.
yeah, there we have it.
Mock
Done.
draft.
Yeah.
2024 mock draft
There it is.
version 1.
Yeah.
Complete.
Absolutely. So it's gonna be fun. Like I'm just typing out the full names for some of the players in the first 2 rounds. I did just last names for a lot of them, but So here's your teams here. You got on LAX, AJ drafted Jason Belmonte, Stu Williams, Don Barrett, Santu, Tavahainen, Francois Lavoie, and Chris Barnes. Motown Muscle, I drafted EJ Tackett, Anthony Simonson, Kevin McCune, Kevin Williams, Mitch Hoope, and Frank Snodgrass. On Akron, we had King Ding Dong, Jesper Svensson, Tom Doherty, Chris Vi, Matt Russo, Jason Sterner, and DJ Archer. On the New Jersey Kingpins, I drafted Packy Hanrahan, Marshall Kent, Matt Ogle, Sean Lavery Spar, Jake Peters, Tom Smallwood. Las Vegas High Rollers, King Ding Dong got Andrew Anderson, AJ Johnson, Jacob Buttriff, Dick Allen, Sean Maldonado, and Anthony Lavery Spar. On the Dallas Strikers, we have Tommy Jones, Bill O'Neill, Sam Cooley, AJ Chapman, Justin Knowles, and Nick Pate. Portland Lumberjacks, your hometown team here, West Malott, Kyle Troop, Graham Fa, Tomas Kayoko, Kyle Sherman, Arturo Quintero, and on the Waco Wonders, Parker Bowles III, Ryan Simonelli, Chris Prather, Sean Rash, BJ Moore, and Darren Tang. Well, guys,
There you
that
have
was
it.
quite the draft.
Yeah,
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was fun. I like that.
It can be debated, it can be argued, it can we're going to put it up there live on the Frankie DIng Dong page for people to look at and talk about, and it'll be a lot of fun,
just do some comparisons, run your draft, and put them on next stars, and
Absolutely.
post it with the Frankie DIng Dong one.
absolutely. We'd love to
Pretty
see
cool.
it. We'd like
Share-
to see if you
share
do a mock
it.
draft, put it up there on ours as
In our
well.
comments, yeah.
And we'll see how close it comes to how these teams actually save and protect players and then start drafting. So it'll be
Yeah.
kind of interesting. So
Yeah, I think the real draft is December 13th.
December
So we got
13th.
a
Okay.
couple of weeks here.
Nice.
Not too far away, and
Nice.
it's going to be cool with all the added TV shows this year around all the majors, and qualifying, and create some rivalries and some interesting things for people to follow along, and not just maybe follow a player or two, but actually become a fan of a team, which I think is what they're trying to do, which is very, very cool.
And the teams get to spend the whole season together now, so they get to mesh a little bit longer and
Yeah.
not just have it be like, okay, we got to bowl together for a week.
Yeah.
No, you'll have, several different times where you get to bowl together and, build that chemistry, whether it be good or bad chemistry.
Yeah.
And
true.
that's really going to play into the end of the season a lot.
Oh, for sure.
The teams that really mesh well and bond together well are going to probably do well at the end. And then the teams that, may have issues with that or challenges with whatever might have, no one ever gets along with everyone perfectly, or you have just personalities that don't mesh or what have you, that could factor into, especially at the final end of the season, if you get a team that's, lighting up together, like, a young team, like if High Rollers actually went like this with a young team with like Dick Allen, you gotta figure they're gonna be fucking fun as hell.
Yeah.
You put DJ Archer with these guys on the Atom Splitters, that team's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Look at the Waco Wonder. Look at who you drafted for the Wonders. That's, just all of these scenarios that we came up with. You could really fight a good argument for them meshing together very well.
Definitely.
And it'd be interesting to see how that comes through at the end of the season, and if it's able to get into like that feel of college bowling maybe, or something to make it really exciting, while still being at professional level.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped about this draft. I think this mock draft was awesome. I had a lot of fun doing it with you guys. We kind of just whipped this up on the fly. We're like, let's do a mock draft for the PBA Elite League. It's going to be a great time, and it's been a great time. And I'm excited to get these teams up live for everyone to see and see what they think about it and break it down and see where did we go right and where did we go wrong, in your opinion. So, and a lot of good players, unfortunately. And this is where I can see where it's so hard for teams now to have to draft players, because there's a lot. You could make a couple of teams worth of really good players just on the ones that are left.
They would make two good teams.
Right. So
they would make two great teams.
Yeah. So it's there is going to be some guys left out, unfortunately, and hopefully the ones that make it, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch them progress through the season and actually see more of a true league with qualifying and standing
multiple events and
multiple
TV shows
events
that
and-
lead to the
Absolutely.
big final. It's sweet. Yeah.
And hopefully this means bigger and better things for the league, and maybe that means even more, opportunities and maybe expansion afterwards if this goes well. So let's hope for that.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, Well, that's all we had tonight, folks. Our draft is done. We'll get that posted on our page as soon as possible. But thanks again, guys, for a wonderful evening. So it was a good time. And
thanks for having me on.
absolutely, we love having AJ on. So, and thank you everyone who tuned in. Steve Cloutier checked in at the end, who said, "Sorry I missed the show, but my own draft league I bowl on bowls on Friday night." So he was bowling and he came and checked in with us. So we appreciate that, Steve, and appreciate everyone that tuned in tonight. And our next live show will be next Friday night probably. We don't have anything until then. We don't have anything this weekend that we're covering.
Yeah, next Friday night and Fridays with Frankie. Then we have another Carl's event coming up on
December
the Sunday after.
The 3rd.
Yep,
December 3rd.
So 38-foot pattern.
It is. Yeah,
that.
he just announced the pattern today, I believe. That's out. So yeah.
Dead
Yeah.
distance. That's
I can't
37,
remember what the
38.
name
That's
of it.
38's a tough one. That's
Yeah.
when it gets kind of interesting.
The
You
letter
know?
doesn't hook and the middle does.
I feel like at Bayside, 38 to 40 or 41 gets really wonky in that place. Longer than that's
Yeah, it
fine.
can.
Shorter than that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yep.
That's probably
Holman
like that in a
played
lot of
pretty good
places.
there, though. Holman was
Holman
38,
wasn't-
wasn't it?
I think so. 37 or 30.
Well, the gutter bumps on it, then it's fine. But if
Yeah.
it doesn't bump on 37, 38, then you're
Then you're in trouble.
Yeah, that's when
Yeah.
you get
The gutter usually bumps at Bayside on those.
That's true.
But
That's
unless we're designing the pattern,
Unless it's
unless it's water pattern or sugar coated.
Yeah, which isn't the case here. So
No, definitely not. Definitely
Yes.
not.
Yeah.
So, all right. So tune in next Friday. We'll have another show previewing the Carl's event, and maybe by then we'll have some more mock drafts out there, and we can share those with you. If anyone gets them out there, we'll put them up on the show for everyone to see. So
Yeah, and then the weekend after, we're going to be live in New York at
Yeah,
the Digger Doubles.
Digger Doubles tournament. We'll both be bowling. You're bowling with Ricky the Razor. I'm actually bowling with Mike Clausen. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a good time at that
Hopefully
tournament.
get some.
And AJ, what do you got? You want any sponsors or anyone you want to talk about? Anyone that you any tournaments coming up for you or anything?
yeah, I mean, obviously all my sponsors, Ebonite Turbo, Bowler X, Infinity Air, The Porch, Elite Flooring, everybody, Genesis, yeah, that's all
They're all
good.
good people.
So everything, the bowling shops, so our pro shop that I work at.
Yeah.
And yeah, a couple regionals coming up next
Okay.
month. So
Yep.
we got a over under 50 in Houston.
Nice.
And then our the cool part about the Southwest and the PBA regions is we have an invitational tournament every year, which nobody other region has.
Oh, nice.
So the top 24 in points for the season
Mhm.
automatically qualify. Then there's a couple invites and a couple senior spots, I think. So it ends up filling at 32. And
Oh,
as
nice.
we bowl qualifying on Saturday. Then everybody makes, or the top 16 make it to Sunday. Everybody cashes. The entry's
Yep.
free, which is cool. Everybody cashes. Then it's best of best of bracket. Sunday.
Oh, okay,
So
cool.
all the
Very
way through.
nice.
So one versus 16, just straight up best of 5. I think all the way through.
Nice.
But that one's super fun. So excited for
Cool.
go back to that one. That one's in Shawnee.
Yeah.
All
Sure.
right, like to see it, and so that'll be great. And I've seen the players that are in that Southwest region on the standing, so I can see why you could have that just in that region. The region is loaded.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's insane. Like the cuts that we take to like 16 for match play.
yeah.
It's like 13 of the 16 are already taken.
Yeah.
Before we
Right.
roll.
Right. It's
Yeah.
this is a
So
tough
it's-
region to crack for
Yeah.
sure.
But
Yeah.
it's the depth is crazy.
Yeah, it's
insane.
phenomenal, which just shows how much talent there is out there, and it's incredible. So, so awesome. So good luck going forward in the
Thank
next
you.
month, and
Thank
then
you.
for the PBA season next year.
Yeah.
Expect big
Coming up
things.
soon.
So
Coming up
we got a
soon.
lot of fun. So
Yeah.
all right, guys, thank you for tuning in tonight, and we'll see you next Friday here with another edition of the Fridays with Frankie, and we'll definitely get this mock draft up on our page as soon as possible. So.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in tonight. Until next time, we appreciate you guys. And as always, King Ding Dong says,
Get those kids in the center.